You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
Do 3 recent board-level decisions change your Korea operating strategy, your labor cost model, or your supply chain positioning? It's Wednesday, June 17. Let's look at a business story shaping corporate Korea. We need to unpack Hyundai's labor risk first. It's fascinating trying to understand how a company defends its legacy compensation models amid a, financial slump.
Well, Hyundai Motor's Q1 2026 operating profit fell 30.8% year-on-year to 2.51 trillion won, or approximately 1.8 billion USD.
Wait, if their profit fell by over 30%, how does the union justify their current demands?
The union's bonus demand equals over 3 trillion won, roughly 2.1 billion USD.
That math is wild. I mean, they are asking for a piece of the pie that is actually bigger than the entire quarter's pie itself. How is the company supposed to navigate that when the regulatory rules are changing right under their feet?
Right, the June 15 Olson Labor Commission ruling expands direct bargaining obligations to subcontractor unions ahead of the third quarter.
Oh, wow. So it's not just a negotiation with the core union anymore. Like, Hyundai has to negotiate with everyone down the supply chain. That severely complicates things with a major deadline looming.
Exactly, and a critical June 25 decision determines whether a legal strike proceeds immediately.
Okay, so if legacy manufacturers like Hyundai are bleeding cash to labor disputes, we have to look at where Korean capital is actually flowing efficiently. That causality brings us to Hanwha and their external supply chain moves.
Yeah, Hanwha invested 263.9 billion won, roughly 189 million USD, for a 9.04% stake in KI.
To give you some context, KI is Korea Aerospace Industries, the country's only fully integrated aircraft manufacturer. But looking at their board resolutions, they aren't stopping at 9%.
No, Hanwha's board resolved to deploy another 500 billion won, around 359 million USD, by year-end to reach a 12% total stake.
Here's where we need to ask why that specific number matters, right? Hitting 12% isn't arbitrary. By crossing that threshold, don't they essentially become the anchor shareholder? I mean, is this a direct play to absorb KAI from state control as global defense spending hits its highest GDP share since the Cold War?
Absolutely. Reaching a 12% stake establishes dominant leverage for privatization within the next fiscal year.
Okay, so if Hanwha is consolidating all this physical defense hardware, someone has to build the tech infrastructure to power those next-generation systems.
That brings us to SK Group. And they are dominating the hashtag KOSPI, which is the primary South Korean stock market index.
SK Group's market capitalization hit 2020 trillion won, roughly 1.44 trillion USD, capturing 26.2% of the hashtag KOSPI.
Capturing over a quarter of the entire market index is staggering. And they are vertically integrating that power. They aren't just renting out server racks like a traditional data center landlord. They are, building the entire city grid from scratch.
Right. SK Telecom is launching its first AI factory in 2027, utilizing Nvidia's foundational architecture. And all this AI and defense maneuvering is happening against a shifting macro backdrop.
Yeah, the U.S. is structuring a $300 billion Iran Reconstruction Fund with a 60-day implementation mechanism, heavily targeting Korean engineering firms.
So if you are listening to this and mapping out your next move, what does this all mean for your board-level action items?
Hyundai's June 25 labor ruling represents a structural risk that must be repriced in Korea P&L models. Hanwha's acceleration toward a 12% KII stake creates a first-mover positioning window for multinationals in the aerospace supply chain. The $300 billion Iran Reconstruction Fund requires executive-level positioning before official diplomatic channels open.
Before we wrap up, I want you to ponder one more detail from SK Telecom's AI rollout. They aren't just deploying software. They are formally assigning actual employee IDs, organizational units, and authority levels to AI agents. What happens to your strategy when algorithms are officially on the organizational chart? That's today's AI PRISM CEOs. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a Juan Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.